What's up, everybody? It's DJ Rachel, and I'm excited to announce that I have partnered with our friends at NLFX to bring you a complete walkthrough of the Alto Professional Stealth Pro. There has been a lot of excitement about this upgraded unit, and rightfully so. This Pro Edition has received some major upgrades, and we're going to go over those in detail right now. Real quick, for anyone who isn't familiar with the Alto Stealth Pro or its predecessor, this is a wireless UHF system that turns any active speaker into a wireless one. What that means is it can replace up to 200 feet of audio cable from your controller or mixer to a remote satellite speaker. What's really cool about the Alto Stealth, ultimately it is freedom for the mobile DJ. We can put speakers where we actually need them. We don't have to spend time gaffing wires down. It eliminates trip hazards. It also removes unsightly cables from beautiful setups and allows us to clean up much quicker and saves us time than having to roll up all our cables. Over the years, demands on mobile DJs have gotten a lot more complicated. Venues now have multi-level events. There's many times that a DJ will need a remote satellite speaker for a reception or a cocktail hour, or maybe even an event where there are multiple speakers needed over a large area, and simply running miles of cable just isn't practical or safe. Over the past week, I have done my best to battle test this thing with different performance conditions. It's important to mention that RF is completely environmental and results can and will vary. I figured this was a good segue to talk about UHF and how it works. Now, I am not an expert on this technology, but I do think it's important to have a basic understanding about what's going on so we understand where this device is going to perform its best and where it might not work as expected. If you have no interest in this, or you already know everything there is to know about UHF frequencies, then feel free to skip on forward to the end of the video where I show the testing of this unit. If you want to know a little bit more, stick with me. Let's get a little bit nerdy and talk wireless technology. The Stealth Pro uses a legal UHF frequency range of 540 to 570 to transmit your tunes to your speakers. UHF in general is a cheap and reliable communication. This frequency is great because it works well in urban environments, around buildings, trees, and pretty much anywhere. Due to its short wavelength, it can travel freely through non-metallic surfaces. To make this slightly more visual as to why UHF is a great choice for this application, let's compare it to a VHF signal. VHF is a longer wave and will travel further than UHF, but it's more easily disrupted when it encounters objects. So now think of UHF waves like a 2-foot pole and VHF like a 7-foot pole. If you're walking through a house with a shorter pole, you're less likely to hit doors, pillars, and get stuck in tight spaces. Whereas if you're walking around the same room with a 7-foot pole, you're more likely to hit objects. And anytime a radio frequency hits something, it loses power, so a shorter wave will always penetrate through tight spaces better without losing energy. This is why the Stealth works great inside venues with all sorts of obstructions like concrete, brick, walls, etc. A high RF noise floor will cause issues with weaker wireless systems, but think about the Super Bowl game coming up. There are roughly 70,000 people in the stands, presumably all with cell phones, and yet all the UHF RF equipment will still work. The most important considerations for success with the Alto Stealth Pro are good frequency management and line of sight with good antenna placement. And now this is easier than ever with the upgrades to this new unit. First things first, let's check out what's in the box. So it comes with a short and long rack. We also have all the mounting hardware. We have M10 mounting bolts for the receiver pack. It also comes with Velcro. We have removable antennas. There are 6 of these, 2 for each receiver as well as 2 for the transmitter. We also have 3 power packs. I want to stress that these are not battery operated, and each piece will need a separate power unit. On the bottom, we have 1 Stealth Pro transmitter, we have 2 receiver packs, and 2 mini XLR to XLR cables to attach these to your powered speaker. The Stealth Pro has received some major upgrades. Specifically, both the transmitter and receiver have aluminum and steel chassis. They have rear mounted B and C antennas, as well as true diversity receivers, also with 2 removable antennas. There's now an available LCD display which shows you everything you need to get this unit dialed in. This LCD upgrade is such a big deal because the previous Stealth only had LEDs to indicate the presence of RF and AF. Now RF is radio frequency signal strength, and AF is audio frequency, or the actual music or sound that's being broadcasted. This meant you really had no visual way to know the overall health of the signal. So if you were 100 feet away with the Stealth receiver, you have no way of knowing if the signal is just barely hanging on. So by having these LCD screens, you have a real-time visual feedback, which is priceless. Probably the biggest and most beneficial upgrade to the unit is the available scan and frequency button. The scan button will automatically scan for the next available RF channel. The channel will flash on the display, and the RF meter will show you the level of RF congestion for each scan channel in real time. Ever set something up and have it sound perfect during sound check, but then all of a sudden it drops out during the actual event? Well, that random RF chatter can absolutely kill our confidence with wireless technology, so this directly addresses that issue. Another upgrade worth mentioning is the volume button on the transmitter. By pressing this, we can manually adjust the incoming signal level by using the plus and minus buttons. Overall, this allows us to set the sensitivity robustness of the signal. Also on the receiver pack, you'll see this LR button. This selects which stereo channel the receiver receives from the transmitter. This only applies if both receivers are being used in a stereo application. You'll also see a delay feature as well as squelch. Now, this is very important to UHF receivers, so let's have a quick little chat about the squelch function. In a channel where there's lots of communication, squelch prevents static from being heard and cuts out weak signals. So in short, it silences a channel when there is nothing on it and eliminates that annoying hissing white noise. So you should be scanning with the squelch set to low. If no frequencies are available, then change it to medium, try rescanning, and if you're still getting interference, set the squelch to high, but just know that you're gonna limit your range from the transmitter to the receiver. So in reality, you want the squelch set to the lowest setting possible where the static stops. Connecting the Stealth Pro takes a matter of minutes. I'm gonna walk you through the steps right now. First, let's start with the transmitter. We're going to take 2 of the 6 removable antennas. They are completely identical, so it does not matter what antenna you put on what device. You'll hear them lock into place. This makes sure that they are really secure and completely movable. So we're going to attach both of these. Then our next step is to connect the XLR inputs to the controller or mixer that you're using. It does not come with the XLRs needed to connect the transmitter to your mixer or controller. So I have 2 cables right here. We're going to connect these from my Roland 707M to the Stealth. The last step, connect the power. It comes with the adapter. This does need to be plugged in, so we're going to get this situated right in the power strip down here. Now that the transmitter has been connected, we can start working on the receiver packs. The Stealth Pro can connect to any powered speaker in just a few simple steps. So to get started, we're going to take 2 of the other antennas and lock those onto the receiver. Simply twist and you'll hear that they lock in. So now you have 2 movable antennas to ensure great reception. You also have the option to mount this to an M10 rigging bolt that can simply get placed right here and then mounted to the speaker. The kit also comes with Velcro, double-sided, so that you can stick this to the side of the speaker if that's what you'd like to do rather than using the bolt. The unit comes with a mini XLR to XLR cable to hook the receiver to your loudspeaker. simply connect the mini side to the actual receiver pack, and the other end gets plugged in to an input on your speaker. Once the audio has been connected, now we have to get power to the pack. I want to reiterate that these are not battery powered. They do come with a power supply. Now here is a recommendation that works fantastic. This is a piggyback power cord available for super cheap. I think I paid $10 for the pair. They're available on Amazon. I'm sure probably NLFX could sell you some. Really easy to find. What's great about these is it allows you to give power to both the speaker and the receiver without having to run an additional power source. Here's how this works. So I take the piggyback cord and I plug it into the speaker. I then take the power adapter that comes with the Stealth Pro, plug that into this cord, and then the power end obviously goes into the receiver. Then the last step is to take this cord and plug it into a power source. And once I do that, you'll see now that the receiver has turned on and I can turn on the speaker. I know you're probably just like, get to the testing already. So here we go. It's the part you have been waiting for. Over the past several days, I have put this unit through multiple tests to see if this in fact outperforms the previous model. So here we go. This is going to be an indoor test to see how well this travels through walls and different levels of the house. So right now, let me get on some probably really bad royalty-free music. Just to reiterate, we are in the basement. This is where the transmitter is. It's on my desk in my bedroom. We're going up the first flight of stairs to the first level of the house. Now, my first test speaker is located in the garage, and I put this here to simulate a remote, maybe cocktail space or ceremony speaker. And what's interesting is it's behind a metal fireproof door, and I wanted to see if this would affect the signal at all. So let's check it out. In here we have the Alto Stealth Professional hooked up to a Electro Voice Evolve 50. Sounds great in here, no dropouts, no static. It's very crisp sounding, no loss of sound quality. Sounds great. I have one more interior speaker set up. We're actually gonna go up to the second level of the house. And welcome to the bathroom, because who doesn't have a Electro Voice ETX 10P in their bathroom, right? It sounds fantastic, and I am literally 2 floors up on the opposite end of my house. I'm actually gonna put the Stealth Pro into a safe that I have. I have no idea if this is gonna be a disaster. I obviously can't completely close and lock the safe because of the cord, but actually, I closed a lot. So let's see what happens when I put the pack inside of a safe and what that does to the signal.
I don't want to be in your video. That music is driving me nuts. Over and over and over and over and over again.
Well, I have to run.
Why can't you play a different song?
Because it's the one I found that's royalty free and it works.
Out of all your millions of songs?
They have copyright.
So what? Who cares? Just get out of here.
Folks, we have sound. No dropout, no distortion. I have the pack inside of this safe. And for continuity, I ran an additional test on the second floor. Once again, in the bathroom, which is probably the farthest room from where the transmitter is. I also put the receiver pack in the safe up here on the second floor just to see if that would have any impact. And again, no interference, no dropouts, no static, no loss of sound quality. Works fantastic. Distance test with a unobstructed view of the speaker. So I actually put my speaker on the side of the street. I really think my neighbors are probably gonna call the cops, but I'll deal with that when that happens. So walking through the neighbor's yard, I have one EV speaker right down here. No objects in front of it. It is just sitting on the ground. This is approximately, I want to say, a little bit more than 200 feet. It wasn't an exact science, but it's a pretty far distance. So I'm still walking down the street. Sounds really good. I don't hear any interference or static right here. It sounds really good. As a frame of reference, let's see if I can zoom in here. Everything is located on the inside of my house through that door. Is this everyone's favorite song yet? All right, here we go. We're gonna be heading outside to the outdoor shed. We're gonna see how good the signal is this far away on the inside of another exterior building. Now the basement here, this is all concrete, glass, obviously wood structure above. I'm anticipating it's still gonna work, but I just wanted to see for my own curiosity. So I ran some power down. All right, let's check it out. All right, sounds great. What I have set up now is I'm gonna be playing this track, and I put one of my EV ETX speakers actually on the inside of my vehicle. So to give you the layout, the transmitter is on the inside. I'm walking up to my driveway where I put the speaker in the trunk. So there's my power cable. All right, folks, let's check this out. No idea how this is gonna sound. It's working. That's kind of impressive. Even if I shut the door. This next test is a special request. I had someone reach out on Facebook saying that with the previous model, they lost power at the transmitter during an event, and it caused the satellite speakers to have a horrible static noise. And they wanted to know if the same thing happened with the Pro model. You don't know until you try. So I'm gonna play a track on my iPad. I have a Electro Voice Evolve 50 here with one of the packs hooked up. I'm going to pull the power out to make this turn off, and we'll see what happens to the sound. So stand by. It's funny, I'm kind of anxious. I know it's coming, like the Jack in the Box, but I'm like, you know, gonna be startled by it. So let's get a track on. All right. And now I'm going to disconnect the power and let's see what happens. Okay, so there was a loud pop, there was no static, no really horrible noise, definitely an audible thunk. It wasn't horrible. So I'm gonna plug it back in and see how long it takes for the audio to resume and if there's any weird noises or anything like that. So let me just get this plugged back in here. All right, plug back in, power. That was almost instantaneous. No weird noises. It picked right back up. So it doesn't have to be resynced. You don't have to rescan the channels. It's really just get power back to the unit and the sound's gonna pick back up instantaneously. Pretty cool. As a DJ, I thought it was absolutely critical to see how the Stealth Pro performed around other wireless technology. So here in my laboratory, I have the Electro Voice RE3 wireless unit alongside my Shure BLX88 dual microphone. And right here, I have the Stealth Pro broadcasting to my Evolve 50 right over here in the corner. I wanted to see how all this wireless technology would perform in close proximity to one another and if there were any issues with the signal with any of the units. So right here I have my RE3 wireless microphone. Sounds great, no problems. And right here I have my Shure microphone also working absolutely perfect around the Stealth Pro. That's a wrap. Thank you so much for watching this video on the Alto Professional Stealth Pro. If you're interested in picking one of these up, be sure to reach out to your friends at NLFX. In promotion of this video, I have actually negotiated special pricing for anyone who uses the secret code word. We'll be sure to get you the best pricing on these available. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.